Oh my gosh, I say some shit on our podcast. Can I not cuss on this one?
Oh,
yeah,
you can absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
Any and all.
I try not to, but it's one of those things that just comes out.
Yeah, no, we swear.
Unstoppable. Yeah.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
All right. Shall we do this thing?
Let's do it.
Welcome to
Witchcast.
'Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily.
I'm Kate. We almost did it in sync. But I'm Kate.
And I'm Emily.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is the Witchcast podcast.
And we're your hosts. We're your hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast. A podcast all about learning and growing in our witchy woo-woo extended magical universe.
Yes. If it's magical, if it's occultish, if it's weird, we want to know about it. We want to learn about it. We want to grow about it.
We want to grow about it. That's
we
right.
want to grow about it. And we sometimes bring in guests who know more than us about things, which is great and really helpful for our learning journey. And this week we have a really, really special guest. I'm super excited to have her on. She is one of the 3 hosts of the Power of 3 podcasts. You might have heard about them in our season 3 episode where we talked about chaos magic. And she is a certified transformation and mindset coach, a boundless being. She's currently teaching an empath class. Please welcome Jess Scheich.
Woo!
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. This is I feel like I'm going to have a sense of total completion by the end of this episode. I've just been waiting to get you Power of 3 ladies in.
I was feeling nervous today because we haven't had a guest on in so long. I realized
it's been a while.
I'm so used to just not having a guest that I was like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to ask? Who am I?
What do I wear?
What do I wear? We both went for black dress, obviously.
Yes.
This will be the first time I've recorded in over a month because of the ice storms that we had here in Oregon. All of our power went out. My internet was out for a whole month, so I haven't even recorded with the Power of 3. I think we're doing that tomorrow to finally catch up.
Wow.
Well, welcome back to the internet.
Yeah, tell us, how has that been for you?
Oh my gosh,
not having internet.
I love not having internet. It's been fantastic.
I can imagine.
Yes, that makes sense.
But you have this built-in excuse to kind of pause and be like, well, I'm sorry, I don't have internet. I can't deal with you. I have to go be by myself, which is, I feel like, a little bit of a luxury today.
That is the saving grace, but there's still this internal guilt of oh my gosh, I really should just maybe I should find a McDonald's close by that has good internet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure did you also experience any sort of FOMO or of any sort of feel like you were missing out on major news or pop culture? I don't know. I feel like I would be what is everyone doing on Instagram?
Definitely within the groups that I've formed in the Instagram community mostly. But other than that, it's more okay, well, I guess I'm not going to promote my business for a while. But no, I have not missed hearing the news and all of the shit that's going on in our world right now.
Sounds great. My dream is a little bit just to be allowed to not have a phone and just be in the woods without communication for a while.
As long as I have a camera, I'm golden. Take me to the forest.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, this is dumb. I was just gonna say that I was Dan and I went to Asia for 3 weeks right before, in 2019. And I didn't have service or anything for most of the time we were there. And I remember thinking when I came back and opening up the social apps, how much I didn't care and how dumb they seemed. I was like, why am I on Twitter? I don't like Twitter. And it's this isn't giving me any happiness. That distance was oh, I'm not enjoying this at all. But of course I went right back to it anyway, because who can help themselves? But
yeah, it's it's an addiction. It's the same for me too. But you mentioned forests. So you are in Oregon. Do you live near the forests of Oregon? I've heard beautiful things about them.
Yes, kind of surrounded. I'm in somewhat of a valley, but on almost any direction you go, 20 minutes or less, you'll be in a forest. And I live really close to Silver Falls. so I can go on a hike and get lost, and there's waterfalls and pretty nature and squirrels that'll come up and eat out of your hand.
Oh my gosh, that
sounds really nice.
Amazing. That sounds like paradise.
It's pretty wonderful. If I go 2 hours, I think it's like northeast, there is this really awesome like 1.5 mile hike up to a hot springs, and then you can go and soak, and the birds will eat out of your hand there.
That sounds incredible.
So you're basically a fairy tale princess. You're like a wood nymph. That's amazing. And how does nature kind of factor into your magical work? I know you do a lot of stuff about, mental awareness and health, and well, I want to talk about all of that. But do you work with nature as well when you go out to the forest and the waterfalls?
So when I was first like coming into my spiritual journey, I would actually go out to that hot spring quite often, and I like to explore not on the path, which I don't advise if you're not like familiar with going into the forest and like knowing what to look for and how to be safe. I'd like to go off the path, and I would always find eyes in the trees or in different things. And then I started finding those when I came back into the city as well. So I would just find eyes out in nature, and that like really made me feel connected to the universe at that point. And so I think being able to spot that and see that kind of connection, I was then able to, when I see rocks or feathers, and I would just like let the universe speak to me with those things that I'm finding. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I have like chills.
Very cool.
That's so cool.
And then I think the other thing with like nature is it's really great for just grounding or like releasing energy. So if I'm feeling really pent up, I'm not going to stay in my house. I am really lucky. I have a sliding glass door in my bedroom that I can go right into my backyard, and I can just like put my feet in the grass and look up at the sky. And we have really, really beautiful clouds here because it's always raining. But so just being able to do that, it's awesome.
That sounds amazing.
The dream.
Yeah, I'm picturing myself there right now. I'm like going there in my mind.
Remember the sky.
Yeah. What would be your advice for people who are a bit more landlocked in urban settings like Emily and I are? How can we find that kind of connection in a very, kind of industrial setting?
Right. Okay, so when I first started this journey, when I was going up into the woods a lot, I did actually live in Portland. So there's a lot less nature there than where I'm currently living. But just being able to find like a tree that's started growing through the sidewalk, or there's vines growing on the side of the building, and like just being able to notice and bring your awareness to the things that are growing around you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really lovely. So how did you get started in your journey? Like when did you, wake up and say, I want to explore magic and everything that kind of goes with it?
So it was probably something that the universe was like poking at me since I was young. I used to make potions as a child in my backyard and all sorts of things, but I grew up very religious in the church, and we weren't allowed to read Harry Potter, like that kind of religious. So I would go over to my friends' houses, and they would have books about witchcraft and different things. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so taboo. I shouldn't even be reading it. I shouldn't even let my friend know that I'm reading it. So I'd read it until they got out of the bathroom when we're coming back down the hall, and then I would toss it aside.
Slam it shut and toss it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to do this.
Amazing.
No one knows. But when I really started to dive into it, it was probably after the birth of my second daughter, who will be 7 this year.
Wow.
And I was going through this awful postpartum depression that lasted for almost 2 years. And I was probably at the end of that, I started doing mushrooms, actually, microdosing them mostly. And then I also started doing yoga. And I just was sitting with myself because I smoked a lot of weed then, a lot more than I do now. And I would just sit with myself in a journal because everyone in my life was like too hung up in whatever they were doing to listen to any of the crazy cuckoo stuff that I was saying. And I would just write and then lay in my bed. And that was probably the first time I ever had an ego death. And I was like, I have found the meaning of the world. And all we need to save everyone and heal everything is love. And then as soon as I like came upon this realization, I was laying there, and because of the religious upbringing, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to know the meaning of the world. God's supposed to know the meaning of the world. Well, I don't know who the fuck I think I am. So, because I've just figured this out, does that mean that I'm like actually dead? And I didn't know for a minute because I was laying there by myself and just letting my mind do its own thing. So that started opening up my mind to more philosophical points of view. And then I started looking into like Eastern philosophy and these different things, mostly things that would help me like come back into my own body and not feel so fucking depressed and sad. And I did suffer from suicidal depression. And I was able to, in that time, experimenting with the mushrooms and starting to do the yoga and doing my breath work and bringing awareness to the nature around me and seeing those eyes in the trees and in the sidewalks and wherever. That really helped me pull myself out of that depressive state. And I was able to completely take myself off of antidepressants around that same time. And I haven't been back on them, and I haven't been suicidal. And I just, even like, you're going to have hard moments. We're just humans. That's par for the course for
totally
experiencing this. But the fact that I was able to, because I had been on antidepressants since I was 15. And then I would have been 26 when all of this started happening. I'm 32 next week. So.
Happy almost birthday.
I know. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
That's incredible. I mean, wow. What an amazing journey and story, and like just a true testament, I think, to what mindfulness and along with a lot of other things that you mentioned. I'm also a big proponent of psychedelics when done responsibly.
Yes.
I think that's all great. Like it really moves me to hear what you really took it upon yourself to work on yourself and we're like, okay, this isn't working. What else can I do to help myself? That's amazing.
Yeah, because you really do at least this is what happened to me. You get to that point where you're like, I can't take this anymore. Like, I don't even know what to do. What's the point of it? And then something just clicked, and it was like, is this magic? This is magic.
Clearly it is. I mean, it's so funny. I think Emily and I talk about this a lot. Like, there's this kind of weird cognitive dissonance in our minds, right? Like needing to have like physical proof or like wanting to doubt results or magic. But the thing is like what you just told us is proof that it works. You know what I mean? Like I feel we often look at, I was just re-listening to the old Power of 3 episode that we did with the three of you. And it's like that idea of like getting a sign and still looking for a sign, even though you've already gotten it, you know, like just trusting that like, no, this is working for me. The results are showing that this is good. This works for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where like journaling comes really big into play in my life. Yeah. Cause then you can like, you write down the things that are happening around you and then you come back to it and you're like, okay, well, this is what's going on now. But then you have to go back. You don't have to, but I like to go back and reread what I wrote prior. And then I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually so much different. And so what I like to do is I'll write myself, my past self, little notes, and I'll be like, okay, well, you're starting to go down this way, and just continue to keep doing that, because if you do X, Y, Z, then these things are going to happen, and you're like well on your way. So just keep at it, dude. And so I'll write these like just encouraging notes to my past self, because I think that's awesome. I think that in some dimension, my past self is finding those and reading them and healing.
I love that idea so much. I'm sorry, I'm like gonna cry already. That's so cool. I'm definitely gonna do that. I love that idea.
Yeah, and it makes, I don't know. It's also like sometimes when you're changing, like if you're making a complete 180, but you don't see it if you're doing it like 1 degree at a time. You know, I'm slowly turning in my rolly chair for people listening to this, but like you can be here and be like slightly moved, but be like, I haven't moved at all. And really you've come so far, and it's great to be able to look back and be like, oh, this is, you know, things are making a change in my life, and I'm making a change in my life, and I'm creating this difference, and that is good.
Mm-hmm. I can kind of correlate that to like, I don't know, a health, like a physical health or weight loss journey too. When you first start out on something like that, you don't really see a lot of the physical change that's happening in you. You might feel better, you might have more energy and those kinds of things. But I know a lot of us, especially as women, we have body dysmorphia or society weighing in. And so then we think these things about ourselves, XYZ. And really when you look back at where you were before, even if you can't see it now, you're like, okay, this is why I have a picture of myself. I can physically go back and look at like, this is where I started and this is where I'm at now. And it's kind of amazing that like I did that for myself.
Yeah.
I was literally just thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, it's like body progress pics, which both journaling and that I have a very hard time doing. I used to journal all the time, and I find like I'm trying to work in a daily journaling moment is tough for me. I don't know if it's because I don't want to have that kind of moment of self-reflection or I'm just lazy. How do you inspire yourself to stick with it?
Sometimes I just force myself, honestly, but I enjoy journaling and writing things down because I'm not a very vocal person most of the time. So that's kind of like, it's a connection of sorts, connecting with myself or just, and I just love writing. So, if you're not someone that does though, I highly encourage like writing prompts in there. Like I offer those in a group that I run. I know that you can find them all over the internet. There are a whole lot of different avenues to find them, but I think that's something that I would suggest is writing prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally a great idea.
That I would say the same thing. I was going to say I also have kind of a hiccup or a hang up about journaling, which is that sometimes I feel like even writing it down is like, I get very like protective of my own thoughts, which is very dumb and weird, but like I'm nervous that someone will see it. Like I have that voice in my head that's just like, be afraid, don't write anything down. Like, burn it after.
So, I remember being in like 7th or 8th grade, and I used to journal a lot differently. It was more like, well, I can't believe that my mom did this, or my dad did that, or this boy's so cute, or whatever. But I would be so terrified that someone was going to find my journal and read it that I would like rip the pages out and either burn them because I love fire, or flush them down the toilet and then clog the toilet. But nobody was reading what I was writing. And I kind of hate that I did that now because I don't know. I really love reading like Sylvia Plath's the books that her late husband put together. And then nobody can do that with my writing because I burnt it all. So no one knows, I guess.
I think Harriet the Spy like ruined it for all of us of this generation. Like there were so many movies and books of like young girls writing journals, and then because I was the same exact way. I kept a daily journal religiously as a kid, and it would just be a recap of my day. It was the most boring shit ever. But I do love to go back and look at them. And I always was writing. I think that's also why as an adult I hesitate, because I feel like I'm writing for an audience, even as if someday I will die and someone will find all these journals and publish them post-mortem.
The Kate Moran diaries.
That's silly one. That's dumb. And I can put it in my will to never do that. It's like, it should be just for me. And I also don't need to recap it's not like my journal's a friend. I don't need to like recap everything that's happened in my life since I last wrote. And I've been trying one of my prompts my therapist gave me was to name 3 things I like about myself every day, which has been helpful, but I haven't done it lately. But it's like she said, at least one has to be physical to help with my own body dysmorphia. So that was like something I've started doing. It's just like, okay, every day I have to think about 3 things about myself I like and hope I don't run out.
I think it's okay to double up sometimes. Like I just really love this mole on my stomach. Actually, I do. I have like a triangle that it makes. So there's 3 of them right there. And I just love that. So I might talk about that like 2 times this week. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it's the spirit of the thing, right? It's like, don't just write my eyes are nice every single day, but like, but you can celebrate different parts if you're inspired by them on different days.
Right. Yeah, it does. Again, I think it ties back to mindfulness because it makes me think, well, what did I do today that I particularly felt like I won or excelled at or like lived in my true self about? I wanted to also ask you, you mentioned automatic writing earlier. Mm-hmm. What is that for me and people who may not know?
So I get a piece of paper and a pen and I sit down and I kind of get into a meditative state. Maybe I have some sort of idea of like who I am reading for or a relative question, but not even always. Sometimes I'll just sit down, put pen to paper, and then channel. And I do tend to try to ask before I sit down and do this that it be for my highest good or for the person I'm reading for's highest good, but I don't control where it's coming from or what is being said, and then I just like let whatever comes out flow. And sometimes that'll be like complete sentences, sometimes it'll be pictures, sometimes it will just be words.
That's really cool. And how do you get yourself going to the meditative state? I know you work a lot with meditation too. What are some of your favorite kind of practices into getting into a meditative state or approaching meditation?
I just really love breathing. There are so many different kinds of breath work, and a lot of the stuff I do involves like counting. So like there's the 2-2-2. You breathe in for the count of 2, hold for the count of 2, breathe out for the count of 2, hold for the count of 2. Things like that. There's a whole lot of different number sequencing that you can do, but it's more or less just like having that control over the breath to relax the body.
Yeah, and getting that sort of just getting into your flow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was doing it. I was like
But yeah. It's sort of like it's like channeling almost in the way that some of the people we've talked to that are sort of psychics and mediums will do, just sort of like allowing information to flow. And then also like the artist's way talks about that a lot too, as like a way of like the art wants to be made and sometimes you're the person, like you're the vessel for it and you have to just like, let whatever comes come and do it, and it should be easy and happen.
And I think a lot of us as humans, not that I've been anything else, but we get so hung up in the perfectionism of it all. And this needs to be good, or I can't share it, or it's not worth even saving. And it's important not to get hung up in that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, I've, been dabbling in meditation for a few years now, and I really enjoy it, but it's also something that is quite difficult. And I think it's because that chatter, that kind of nonstop, conscious brain that's just going through your to-do list or what you have to do in the future or what you just did earlier today or, and trying to let those thoughts go. Or I've been working on learning how to let them happen and then release them, because before I used to try really hard to just maintain thoughtlessness, but then as soon as you're like, oh, I got it, then you have a thought. It's like, so it doesn't. So yeah, what kind of tips or techniques do you find yourself using if the chatter becomes too much?
I will come to that in just a moment. So there's something that I had shared a while ago, maybe a year ago. The goal with meditation has never been to turn off your mind completely. Rather, it is to turn your awareness inward, becoming the observer of self. So I think that that mind chatter where like, yeah, it would be super fucking cool to be able to turn it off. Sometimes it maybe needs to be there so that you can be like, okay, well, that's not necessarily my thought. That's just something that my mind is doing at the moment, and like allowing it to function in that way. But then like, I'm not that thought and I'm not the chatter. I am the one that's seeing this happen. And then not judging or shaming yourself for having that, because like that's naturally what your mind wants to do. And then meditation, just like a lot of other things, it's a practice and you get better at it the more you do it. And then you're still going to have your bad days, just like when I healed my depression, I still have depressive days, and that's okay. And knowing that that's okay, and that maybe tomorrow will be better. Maybe tomorrow won't be better, but maybe next week will.
There will be a day that will be better.
Yes. And if
that.
I think that it's going to be better eventually, then like that better is probably going to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
That's
that
really well said.
Really resonates.
Yes. I did a very deep nod through all of that.
Yeah.
It's like, yes. I was like, oh, I wish I could just record this and have it play all the time, but I forgot we're making a podcast. Just need a little Jess on my shoulder.
Lucky for us.
Yeah.
Lucky listeners.
So, yeah. How I wanted to also talk about, you mentioned that you're working a lot with the energy body as well as the auric fields. I want to talk all about that. And then I also want to talk about your empath class. Gosh, I don't even know where to start.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot, a lot of information.
There's a lot.
We could start with the class.
Yes, let's talk about that. Yeah. So tell us about this class and how did you get into empathy and empath work, and what does that mean to you?
So I was born a very sensitive soul in a family full of, they're probably very sensitive as well, but they tend to show it more in anger and frustration and that kind of thing. And I'm a Scorpio rising. I cry.
Us too.
Yay! I found so many of us. We're just creating this little cult, or big cult. I don't know.
Yes. Welcome.
But I don't know if this was true for you guys, but when I still even now, most of the time, I cried a lot over pretty much everything. And like, I was it was very easy to get into this like, well, this isn't fair type of mind state. This feeling isn't fair. It's not fair that I don't get to do this. It's not fair that that's happening to those people. I was actually very aware of like things that were happening to other people and like taking on that pain. So that's not when I realized that I was an empath, but when I look back, realizing that I have always been empathic. And then as I grew up, I started like taking their pain and into myself, but then kind of like self-deprecating almost, where it's like they feel that way because I'm not doing something right type of feeling. So that's where a lot of my work has been, is like trying to flip the script in how I think about my own conditioning and patterning and like why all of that has happened. So that kind of threw me into, okay, well, I understand these things. I also worked in mental health at a state psychiatric facility for a while. So I've been like working in mental health for around 10 years.
Wow.
So then I think February, I launched my master class for empaths. And so it was just going over what an empath is, what energy transfer is, and some different techniques on how to like better harness your own energies. And then I released in March a 3-week course it's called Empath 101, Embracing Energetic Harmony. And it was an emailed course this go around. I'm going to eventually upload it into my website because I launched a course without having the internet. And that was really fun.
Amazing. I was going to say,
incredible that you got that done.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I was like on constant contact making this email on my phone, and oh my God, never again do I want to do that. But it worked, and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback in the individuals in my class. They're really stepped into themselves, and it's really fucking awesome to watch.
That's so cool.
That's great. I want to next time you take it. I want to take it.
That would be so much fun to have you involved in that.
Yeah. So going into energy bodies, I quickly looked it up. It was very dense. So what can you talk to us about your work with energy bodies? And then, because I feel like that's related a lot, right? Like I feel like I would assume, knowing nothing, that being an empath, you tend to pick up a lot on what other people are putting out. And from what I know about the energy bodies, there's so many layers of energy that we actually exude, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing as the auric field, or is it two separate concepts?
So I think it depends on like where you're reading it, but because some people refer to the auric field as the energy body, but a lot of the things that I've worked in describe the energy body. I can't remember now. It's either the auric field is a part of the energetic body, and there's like layers in there, and so the auric field is one of the layers. I believe that's the way that it goes. I'm pulling out a picture. So yeah, each layer of the energetic body is an auric field in and of itself. So you have like the first, second, third, fourth, and there's 7 of them, and then it goes on, and then you have different kinds of energy that's not necessarily your aura.
Cool. I had no idea. I guess I've known about auras, but I didn't know there was more beyond that. What have you been working on with this? You said you're getting into it now, but what's the haps?
So I am actually taking this knowledge, and I am working on another course that's gonna have a lot to do with like the chakras and that kind of energy, your energy centers that are like directly inside of you. But so I'm going to use all of this in that, and like just ways to align your energy and work with the different areas depending on what like you're trying to manifest or those kinds of things.
Very cool. And you're a Reiki practitioner, right?
Yes.
Or are you? Sorry.
Yes, I
am. So you're Sorry, I think I have a delay on my... I'm not trying to talk over everybody. I think it's just...
No, you're good. You're good. You go.
You go ahead. I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, I was going to... So that must be... Is that... You must find that work is all related, I would assume, right? Because Reiki is about kind of working with those energy fields within the body and outside of it.
Yeah. Well, and Reiki is simply just like life force energy. So I'm trying to remember. My dad studies Taoism now, which is kind of funny. He's like,
cool.
He's a huge pothead hippie guy. And when I grew up, I was so afraid of him and all of the religious stuff. Like, you're not allowed to do this. And now he's getting into Taoism, and he does a lot of qigong and moving of energy. And so,
what a great turnaround!
Right. I'm like, that's pretty badass. I wish I had known this version of you when I was growing up. We probably would have played better, right. But it's cool to see it happening now. But more or less what I was going to say is just that there are a lot of people that talk about how Reiki is Japanese in culture and everything. And it is, if you're going off of like Maya Yasui, I'm probably saying his first name wrong. If you're being taught from him, it is Japanese in origin in that sense. but it is mainly, it's life force energy. And there are other words in Taoism in different religions and cultures that all talk about life force energy. So like chi is energy. And so when you're working with Reiki or Chi or Qigong or these different modalities, you're working with that life force energy that we all actually can access. Like you don't have to be trained in it to access it. You're just able to work with it more clearly and intentionally the more you're trained in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. I mean, yeah, it makes total sense that this is something that transpires across practices and cultures. And I know also that you work on what's it called when you go into a, oh my God,
like astral projection or like
Thank
the
you.
astral plane.
I totally blanked. Yes, astral projection. I know last time we all spoke, I think you guys were talking about astral projection. So, and I know that is all related to this work as well, right?
Yes, it very much can be.
Yes. So, how is your work in energy bodies and auric fields related to your work with astral projection?
Almost not at all, to be honest. And not that they're not connected, just that when I started doing all of that, that's probably the first like real woo-woo thing that I started doing like intently. And I was probably 23, 24, and this is when I was working at the state hospital. I was working knock shift. So I had a lot of downtime because the patients are all sleeping. So I would read. And I was reading these different books on the brain and what your brain does at night and lucid dreaming and astral projection. And so then I would just go home afterwards. And it was easier to get into this state probably because I was up all night. So I'd just go home and I would turn on this track that I had, and then I had this like I would count and it would be like 1, this is not a dream, 2, this is not a dream, 3, this is not a dream, and then count until like I wasn't in this realm anymore or whatever. And if you lost count, then you just go back to 1. And I used to like I had a dream where I was running away from something and I was really scared, and then I was like, why am I scared? Why am I running? I can just fly right now. And I like took off and flew to the moon.
That's awesome. Cool.
But then I would also like get into this state where like the shadowy figures, I don't remember like technical terms of what other people call these things, but it was like these entities, and I thought they were my roommates at first. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm just like really not sleeping very well. But then it scared me a little bit, and I woke up or whatever, brought my awareness back to that moment, and nobody was in my house.
That's pretty. There's like I'm about to go off on a crazy tangent, but so I was working on like a song cycle or maybe a musical show about ghosts. So I talked to a bunch of different people about their experiences with like ghosts or what they perceived as ghosts, or like what, like their own experiences with like touching the afterlife or like seeing like spectral sort of stuff. And a lot of people have the same basic experience, which is like these tall sort of like just shadowy, blurry like figures that are like aggressive and scary. But that a lot of like several different people who don't know each other that I talked to talked about this same kind of thing, where it's like they had seen like this shadowy like all black person walking around, and like sometimes they were just like walking through the house, and sometimes they were like crouched on the street waiting for them or something like that. And anyway, so very freaky, but I think about it all the time.
When you saw those shadowy figures, Jess, did you get a sense that they were not, that they maybe had like ill will towards you or were aggressive, or were they just kind of existing?
Okay, so they felt very angry, but it more like they were angry with each other and not really interacting with me, because it was like I was laying in bed and then they were like walking around me, but it was just their shadows that I was seeing. Yeah, so I didn't feel like they were like after me in any sort of way. It was just I'm not alone in a way that I don't feel comfortable with.
The last time I tripped acid, which was recent, it was maybe like a couple years ago, I experienced the same kind of shadowy figures. That's why I'm asking you guys all these questions. I was like in his bathroom in the apartment he lived in at the time, and they were like, something was on the other side of the shower door, and I just got this sense of like, I need to leave this room. This is not a good room to be in right now.
Yeah, it's like no one I talked to was like, that's not true. Pretty much everyone I talked to wasn't like attacked by them or anything, but everybody got a bad vibe is what I would say, or pretty much everybody.
Yeah, interesting. That's so cool. Do you believe in ghosts, Jess?
Good question. I think it'd probably be on the same realm as like what I believe aliens are.
Please tell.
The chakra system extends past our physical bodies. So we know like the crown, which is kind of on top of your head, but not really on top. It's like above your head almost. But then it goes like, there are layers beyond and past that, like going up into space, if you will. And it's kind of like also like we exist in somewhere between the third and fifth dimension in whatever reality we're in right now, right? So it's kind of like that. It's like the chakra system is like the different dimensions that you're able to jump up to. And so I think that aliens are more or less beings that have gone beyond what we're able to physically see. And so they're more just they're entities that don't need the physical bodies that we have. They have, and I think that ghosts are kind of on that same realm, but maybe depending on, well, I guess this would maybe be more like not even demons, but like malicious ghosts probably. They would be like on the lower spectrum of the dimensional reality, whereas like an alien that might be coming from Lemuria or whatever is going to come from like the higher dimension down. So it's not even like, oh, this alien lives on this planet over here, but they like kind of live in the same exact time and space that we're in at this moment. But we can't see them because we're not open to that. We have not trained our minds to even go beyond what we're able to comprehend here, because a lot of us can't even comprehend a lot of the things that are actually here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. I totally believe in like the multiverse. I'm totally into that idea. I think it makes so much sense. It's super cool. I remember reading A Wrinkle in Time when I was a kid, and it just blew my fucking mind.
That is not one that I've ever read, and I don't think I've watched the movie either.
The movie's okay. I was a little, well, whatever. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to upset people because I had really high hopes for it. But the book is cool. It's a little dated, as it would be. But the one section I remember really being, like, my mind being blown is they describe the dimensions. It's a sci-fi novel, so it's all about space travel and dimensional travel. And, they explain, like, the first dimension is a line, the second dimension is a box, the third dimension is a cube, right? And then they describe the fourth, I think it was actually the fifth dimension is the wrinkle in the time. But anyway, I remember drawing in the book of, like, an ant on one end of a string, and you're holding two ends of the string up. And being able to travel in the fifth dimension is about bringing the two ends of the string together. So the idea that you can exist simultaneously in two places, the ant can be in both ends of the string, whereas we think very linearly. Thank you. You know what line-like.
We think in lines.
But yeah, I mean, and I also always quote this. I mean, Eckhart Tolle also writes in A New Earth that the next, evolvement of humankind is going to be mental, not physical, and that we kind of need to learn how to evolve mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or we'll get left behind. Which I believe personally. So what other kind of work are you doing with with auric fields and energy bodies. Can you see auras? Are you working on it through meditation? What kind of is your practice like? Is it mostly research?
Mostly research as it pertains to like other individuals, and I'll probably be coming out with something in the relative to near future around that. But I think it's mostly myself. I'm learning how to make my own auric field less porous. So I'm not, for lack of a better phrase, I'm not throwing daggers at the person next to me because I'm in a bad mood, or absorbing their daggers because they're in a bad mood. That kind of thing is mainly what I'm working on, and that's where a lot of like the empath work comes in, is like just learning how to set those energetic boundaries. And a lot of times those energetic boundaries can be as easy to start forming as saying, no, I don't want to do that. I would normally say yes to that because I'm a people pleaser, but I really don't want to do that, so no. And like that in itself is like, that's the first step of being able to start, they call it containing energy. So once you've learned how to like ground your energy and clear stagnant energy, then you can start cultivating your own energies, your positive mindsets, those types of things. But then the containment process, and I guess that would be more like protection, but it's you protecting yourself by learning how to contain it, and then only you let out what you want to let out, and you bring in what you want to bring in.
I love that.
That's awesome. So powerful. I love that.
Yeah, that's a very good thing to learn how to do. And I don't know, maybe I could probably use that too.
Yeah, same.
Very, very much.
I still have to practice it regularly because it's not an easy thing, because we're not taught about it when we're little, when we would have formed these like healthy habits, when we had all this brain plasticity to like take all of this information in. Now we're having to learn it now, and it's hard to get rid of all of the old, especially thought patterns. Those are probably one of the most difficult to, in my opinion. But I'm an overthinker, so
absolutely.
Think about everything, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
Yeah, same.
There's nothing.
I've heard. Oh. Go ahead. You go.
I was just gonna say, there's nothing more satisfying though than when you notice, like when you finally see the thought pattern that's been there the whole time, and you're just like, "Holy shit!" Like, because once you can identify it, you can like deal with it. But it's just all the shit that like you don't even know, like you don't even feel it happen. It's just like the wheels start rolling, and you're already 3 feet away before you even figure out you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's like, it goes back to mindfulness and consciousness. And I was going to say like the brain grooves run deep. And I feel like we have these kind of repetitions of thought patterns, and like the grooves in our brains get really, I don't know if physically that really happens. I feel like I heard about that once, and I don't know if that's true at all. I'm not a doctor. None of this is medical advice. Neural pathways? No, it's the brain wrinkles. It's like when someone has a smooth brain. Okay. It's not true. None of this is true. But I will say, like, through just from my like 9+ years of therapy, being able to come to a place where I normally would take a left, and then saying, wait a second, let me stop here. What do I actually want to do? And take a right instead, and be like, wow, that's like what you were just saying. And that's so great that I didn't just automatically go left. And then that space of that decision, I think over time with practice and mindfulness gets smaller, so that you automatically, don't go left.
Mm-hmm.
For example.
Yeah, you can change your brain's habits just like you can change your own habits. But it is not easy.
Right, it is.
When you first start going down that, though, and bringing in the mindfulness and the awareness, it's okay to like, okay, well, I did take that left turn, and I was fully like on it. I was on that path. But then you stop in the middle of the road, and you're like, whoa, why am I doing this? Why did I take this left turn? What is this doing for me, actually? Probably causing a lot more struggle in my life than I intended to when I turned this direction. And then you can turn around. Yeah. You can go back the other way.
Absolutely.
And that's not easy.
Yeah.
No, not at all. My one of my things I like to do is if I snap at my fiance or like if I go left is then to say, I'm sorry I went left. It's just because of my childhood. I like to just like find I'm like, I always have to go back and say, well, why did you act like that? What was the real reason you got upset? And then apologize and say, well, it's because of XYZ, which makes me super fun to be around, of constantly psychoanalyzing why I'm acting the way I act. But, in my mind, it makes me less of a toxic person.
I honestly wish more people would do that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all right. You can tell me your analyzations of yourself, because then that might make me realize something that I'm doing that I didn't click yet. And I don't know. We're just all helping heal each other while we heal ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Yeah, and like the more you know about what's going on with somebody else, when it's someone you work with a lot or you're close with, you live with, the more empathy it is you can have with the more you can, not in the empath magic sense, but just like in terms of just understanding each other and seeing, okay, well, they do this for that reason and maybe I don't like it, but at least I know that it's coming and I know that they're working on it, or that they know that they do it.
Yeah, I think I grew up with what sounds like a similar household that you had, Jess. It was very reactionary. It was there was never any kind of explanation for why the emotions were felt that were felt. It was very volatile. And so now I think that's my goal as an adult is no, if I might slip off the handle sometimes, I might not always be able to be, fucking Buddha, but if I can at least go back and explain why I was upset or where those emotions are coming from, at least maybe we can come to some sort of understanding together rather than just emotionally vomiting onto each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find as a mom too, do you incorporate any of this work with your kids? Or I think you've mentioned that your kids are not so interested in any of the woo-woo stuff. How is it with
my younger one is a little bit into it, but her dad's family isn't so much into it, so they'll tell her that what I do is fake. And I'm like, that really sucks, because you're already feeding her all of the sugar I asked you not to, and you're already letting her watch all this TV and do all these things that I asked you not to, but what I do is fake too. Okay. So that's somewhere where I kind of get stuck in this negative thing. But it is cool because I can give her a crystal, and I'm like, I know that this crystal is here to help with positive thoughts, with self-love, with XYZ, and I'll bless the stone with that intention and then give it to her. So even if she's not carrying it around oh, this is my love stone, she still has that with her, and she cherishes the stones that I give her, and she'll either keep them under her pillow or next to her bed, or she's got a little purse she'll carry them around in. So those kinds of things. And I think it's okay that she doesn't have to believe what I believe right now, and it's okay for her to believe some of the things her dad's family is telling her, because some of them are true. I grew up religiously as well, and I'm actually very grateful for it, as much damage as it did do, because it helped me with my moral compass. I learned a lot of stories from the Bible that are actually stories that weren't what they were teaching us, but correlate to all these other things, like the chakra system. The book of Revelations is about the chakra systems and ascension.
No shit.
So having that base knowledge of the Bible is really cool in my book, because it's kind of this offhand history lesson that you can put into all different areas and relate it to this culture and that culture, and well, how do these line up? Where's the truths in all of these? Because all of it's fucking bullshit, but there's some truth there.
Yeah, there's nuggets.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had no idea that about the Book of Revelation. That's awesome. We should do a whole other episode about that.
I've also heard, one of my friends told me that book is describing how we're related to mushrooms or something like that.
Oh,
so there's
That's so cool.
The guy that did that one studied for a long time about the Bible, and then put out a paper or something. And so there's like apparently a lot of information about it from this one individual, and that would be pretty cool to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, love
I'm
mushrooms.
intrigued.
I want to know how we're related to mushrooms.
I knew I felt a kinship.
I'm gonna
That's
get
great.
the information from him about that and send it to you guys.
Yeah, totally.
Please.
We'll put it on
Please do.
I always loop. I rope Kate into putting so many things on the website, but we'll put it on the website.
I enjoy it. It's okay. I love putting stuff on our website. And I also love the crystals with your youngest. I think I was volunteering a couple years ago at this food bank in the Bronx, and like one of the kids of the pastor would help, and anytime I meet kids, because I wear crystals around my neck when I go out, they are always fascinated by them. And so I usually end up giving kids these little crystals that I have. And to them, it's the magic's so pure, because it's like, yes, who doesn't want a pretty rock that might be magic? I think it's such a great way to introduce children to that kind of stuff. I think it's awesome. And crystals aren't that expensive. So
Some of them.
Some of them, the small ones. I usually give them like the small ones.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
My oldest, however, she likes crystals, so I'll give her like crystal necklaces or whatever. She's like, they're pretty. I'll put them around my room. But she actually sent me a message today. She's with her dad. So she's like, hey, Mom, could you send me that thing that has my sun sign in it? I don't know what it's called, but you told me about it before, and I can't remember anything else in it. So I was like, you want your birth chart? Do you want just the list of everything that you are? Do you want the circle chart? And she explained to me what she wanted, and I sent that all over to her today. So she's 13.
Nice.
And now she's
It's
getting
begun.
into astrology.
Yeah,
Seems like
I
a
was
good one
super
to
into
start
astrology at that age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading your horoscope in like the Cosmo Girl magazine or whatever, like I was obsessed with that stuff when I was little. It's a great intro.
She is a Scorpio.
Nice.
What are my people?
We're fans of Scorpios over here.
And also,
She's actually
I'm sorry.
Jasmine. Oh, sorry.
She's what?
Jasmine is a what is it? Jasmine's a Capricorn, Scorpio, Aquarius, I believe. Oh. And my daughter is a Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius. So sun, moon, rising. So they're
yes.
And it's kind of bizarre to see each of them separately. Yeah. Like, oh, you're like a little Jasmine over here.
I wouldn't mind having a Jasmine as a daughter. That's a pretty cool triad to have. That Capricorn helps.
The 13-year-old part, I don't know about that being in the emotional aspect, though. The Capricorn is where all your emotions are coming from. It's very like, I don't know. And then I found out today her Mercury is in Scorpio as well. So I'm like, that is where your sting comes from.
Yeah. Well, and 13-year-old girls are, regardless of,
I was gonna say,
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you layer in teenage girl on top of that. Forget it. Yeah.
Well, I'm in for a,
oh my goodness.
rude awakening, I am sure.
The good news is it ends. Eventually they get older and apologize a little bit.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
That's so funny. Yeah, my friend has 3 kids, and her middle is a girl, and she's 5 now, and she is going on 17, and she is a terror. And I actually should do her birth chart to see what her breakdown is, because she's a piece of work, and I love her, but like she is quite difficult to my friend, and we just keep talking about, oh boy, when she becomes a teenager, it's all gonna be over.
Yeah. Although, everybody's different. You never know.
That's true. I shouldn't condemn her yet. Condemn her meaning my friend, her mother, not her.
And also,
I was going to say that's why I didn't look into my daughter's the rest of her besides the sun, moon, and rising until today. Like I've looked at her chart, but I've never looked at her chart because I didn't want to know all of those things. I didn't want to put those things that I thought that I knew about her into her mind, and her just to develop in the way that she wanted to or is supposed to.
Yeah.
That's really smart. That's really good. I feel like I would be that type of mom who would like chart my baby's birth chart before they're even out the womb and like, but I also would like try and turn them gay inside while they're still inside me. That's just, I'm a control freak. It's like gaga all the time. Anyway, so Jess, how can people follow you and take your classes and your workshops? How can people get in touch with you?
All right, so you can find me on the old Instagram. I am at loving_incantations. You can find me on Facebook, Loving Incantations. Yeah, I probably tend to be on Instagram a bit more than Facebook because it's better, but
just is.
Yeah, it just is. But I do have a really cool offering for anyone who's not ready to commit into coaching or energy work sessions or any of that thing. It is a private Facebook group membership. It's $11 a month, and you get so once a week I will either do a Reiki session or a group meditation or a sound healing or a movement meditation, and then once a month I'll do like a mini lesson. So like a lesson on empathy or a lesson on the auric field or, you know, whatever I'm feeling called to share with at that time. And then every week I will also post an energy reading for the week and journal prompts.
Very nice.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great group to be part of.
Great.
Oh, shall we draw an oracle card?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jess, would you like to draw a card?
So I pulled the card Vulnerability from it's Beyond Lumeria Oracle deck. And so I think that in one of my lives, I came from Lumeria to Earth. So that's where I'm from. I feel connected to this deck. And this card is about real strength, holding space, healing past wounds, accepting yourself as you are, sharing from the depths of your heart, your raw truths, compassion for others, and removing your armor.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Love it. All about embracing vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, sorry, real quick. What's Lumeria? You mentioned it a couple times, and I meant to ask you earlier.
So you've probably heard people like talk about Pleiadians. Maybe.
Like from Pluto.
I don't think they're from Pluto. I think they're...
Oh. No, I haven't. I don't know anything. Please tell me.
So Pleiadians are supposed to be like this like high-ranking alien race. Lumeria is just like a sister planet, and they came here and bred with humans, and they're very like lovey creatures, from what I've read.
I love that. That's so cool. I'm gonna have to do more reading on that side of things as well. But
same.
Oh, and can you take a photo of that card for us, and we'll
good
post
timing.
it with
I almost just put it back in the middle.
Yeah. That's half the time I start shuffling, and then I go, oh.
Awesome. We'll post that on our Instagram. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners today? Thank you so much again for being here. It's like I could talk to you for hours.
I would love to do this again.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
In whatever fashion that is, on ours, on yours, somewhere else.
All of the above. Any of the above.
Podcast party.
Right.
Oh, it would be great to do another reunion with all three of you. That was so much fun.
Yes, definitely. I'll be talking with the girls tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, tell them we say hi.
Yes, give them our love.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I think that'll do it for this episode of the Witchcast podcast. Please follow Jess on loving_incantations on Instagram and on Facebook. You can follow us at Witchcast Podcast on Instagram, or find us online. We'll post links and photos that we mentioned today at witchcastpodcast.com. And, if you like us, leave a little review, a little rating, a little subscription on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find us, and it means so much to us.
Yeah. And until next time, Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.